Hello. It is the third Sunday of Easter, and our reading today out of the epistles is from 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. And this is at the close of Peter's letter. And so he's kind of wrapping up with the essentials that he wants his readers to be clear on. And as is typical of both Peter and Paul and other epistle writers, the very final bits of their letter have to do with behavior, being sure that you behave the right way. And here Peter outlines 4 things. First, he says that you need to be sober-minded and self-controlled, it says in the ESV, for example, for the sake of your prayers, so that your prayers aren't hindered. That if you're not sober-minded and self-controlled, then you won't be effective in your prayer life, and your prayers won't be effective. The second thing he says above all, so it's a pretty important thing. He says above everything else, love each other deeply, because love covers a multitude of sins. And this sounds like it could come out of 1 John, doesn't it? But above all, love each other deeply. That he desires that as believers, our love for one another is intense, is caring, is compassionate, as we looked at in 1 John, is such that we would lay down our lives for our brothers, is such that if our brother has any need, we make sure that we meet it. So this really has gone along very well with what we've looked at recently in 1 John, this passage out of 1 Peter. The New Testament witness is uniform as to how we should be toward one another. And it follows on that, the third thing, to have hospitality without grumbling. In other words, always be open to share your home, always be open to share your time with fellow believers. And the fourth thing is that if you have a gift, if God has given you some kind of gift, the reason you have it is to share it on behalf of others. It's not for your personal gratification or benefit. If God has given you a spiritual gift, if God has given you any kind of gift, the things God gives you are for the benefit of others. I mean, if we think about Jesus, and we think about how Jesus did everything for the benefit of others, for the benefit of his brethren, we do everything for the benefit of our brethren. It's a very high calling. It's a very high standard that's been set for us as believers. But it's the standards that's there. It's what's expected of us, and it's what we should desire to do. It should not be something that we're doing grudgingly. It's something that we're doing because we're pleased and excited and feel intensely and intently that we should do it. So I urge you and I encourage you with Peter's words here of how we should behave toward and love one another. I leave you with that today, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.